also done course on clean tech from Indian School of Business, Hyderabad. He has represented India on 4 occasions. Sir has been bestowed with numerous awards, appreciations, and accolades. The topic for today's guest lecture is National Startup Day. Now, I would like to call upon our director, sir, to invite the chief guest for speaking.
Good morning, Captain Nikunj.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, ma'am. Good morning to all our faculties, staff, and our dear cadets. A warm welcome to you on this National Startup Day. This is the initiative which has been taken by our Honorable Prime Minister, and 16th of January has been demarcated as the National Startup Day. Startups are a backbone of any nation's progress. And there's no better person than Captain Nikunj, who has agreed to spare some time and be the chief guest on the occasion. Captain Prashar, after being a sailor and becoming a master mariner and sailed with a lot of other companies as captain, has also been an entrepreneur, and today his work has been, distinguished work has been accepted, and laurels are there in his company called Sagar. Startups, as of Captain Nikunj, has been the backbone of this nation which is progressing towards a 5 trillion economy. Captain Pastor, after completing his bachelor's in nautical technology, he went on to get his master's. With over 14 years of experience in the shipping operations, ship construction, cargo and port operations, along with safety management. Further, he was also an alumni of the Indian Institute of Management, Ahmedabad, and he founded the Sagar Defense Engineering Private Limited in India, which is currently awarded with a national award in Jan 22 in the robotics sector by the Government of India and by National Security Council. He holds a number of patents to his name for developing electronic and wireless charging systems for unmanned systems. He has represented India on 4 occasions, recently being in Los Angeles, USA, for Clean Tech program under the aegis of Ministry of MSN.
They are only fraction of the students.
He has got
No
numerous
worries, they're all on
papers
vacation.
which he has presented in international forums. To name a few, presented a technical paper on autonomous shipping at Rotterdam, presented a technical paper at the Conference of Indian Industries on the subject of unmanned systems, presented a technical paper on unmanned aerial vehicles. In the course of fulfilling his career, Captain Prashar has been bestowed with numerous awards, appreciation and accolades, including the prestigious NASCOM Technology and Leadership Award. We are privileged and proud to have him over to share moments of his exciting and innovative career with us. Thank you, sir, for sparing the time.
Thank you, sir.
Over to you.
Thank you, sir.
We'll sit out there.
Sure, sir. A very good morning to all. Honorable Principal, teachers, and colleagues out there. Can you hear me loud and clear? It's very exciting always, and I'm going to speak in Hindi and English together. मेरी English थोड़ी तंग है. So it's always exciting to be here, especially in a maritime campus, and I feel back at home. Few minutes back, I was with sir and I was discussing my younger brother passed out from here. He did his 3.5 months of pre-C course. He is a civil servant. He was also a master mariner. And while telling sir that how my journey started, now with all the accolades happening in and whatever we have got, this has been only possible to what I am today is due to what uniform you guys are wearing. It's due to shipping. It's due to mentors like sir across whom we have met in our journey. And that's the reason why where we are today. Now before I start talking and really take your time, and then some of you will doze off to sleep. My question comes across, let's keep it interactive, and my question comes across to all you young boys. And I want you to raise your hands. How many of you want to join C after completing a complete course? I need hands to be raised. You guys are in doubt, is it? I think that should go very fast. How many of you want to join C after your course gets completed? So almost 100%? Okay, the second question, how many will not join C after you complete the course? Let me hear, see out some of your hands. No? Not one? Now I'll tell you. Once you join C, is it that you all believe that you're going to get $12,000 per month or possibly $14,000 per month once you become a master? Come on, raise your hands. I want to hear that out. I'm going to change your thought process. By the time I get over with my talk, I'm going to change your thought process. So how many of you think that, once you enter C, you're going to become masters, and yes, you are going to earn that $12,000 to $14,000 a month? I earned that. I would not lie to you. So how many of you? Come on. Raise your hand. There is no shy in saying. So if you don't raise your hand, that means you go out at C and you'll be quitting very soon, is it? Oh, so you're going to quit. So how many of you are going to quit C in 3 years' time? Okay, 6 years' time? 10 years' time? Okay, I have one who's going to quit in 6 years' time. 10 years' time. So why are you going to quit after 10 years? Can you tell me? Will you be a master by then or no?
So I think I will be master in like 12 to 14 years
Mm-hmm.
after joining C, and thereafter I can explore other fields into shipping.
Fantastic. Take your seat. So what that tells you to that you're becoming a master, is it the money? Is it the honor of commanding the ship? And I want you guys to be very honest with your own self. In today's time, you boys and girls are much more aware than any one of us. My daughter is just 13. She tells me, Dad, you don't know. So I understand that. So tell me, what is that is pushing you to stay out at sea for 10 years? Why don't you answer yourself? What's your good name? Rohit. Okay, Rohit, tell me. So 10 years. What is taking you 10 years to be out at sea and then quit?
So like I really want to experience how sea is.
Mm-hmm.
And for that, from going to deck cadet to an officer level, I'll be taking 10 years of time.
Oh, no, you don't. What's your sea time required post your course?
So
1
1 year.
year. So you are an officer within a year. No, this is for everybody, okay? Relate yourself. Everybody relate yourself to Rohit because he has guts to stand up and talk to me. So you need, yeah.
Each level of officer, like third mate, second mate, you have different responsibilities.
Mm-hmm.
So you get to experience those responsibilities when you come to that post.
Uh-huh.
So I'll be taking 10 years to explore all those responsibilities.
Okay, so the money is not important, right?
Obviously, sir, that will be the second priority. But experience is first.
Fantastic, Rohit. Take your seat. Thank you. So the question comes here is, and this is very important to think, even when you make $14,000 a month, you're not able to buy your BMWs. This is true. And this is very true because I am telling you from my experience. So I have friends, I have a friend who is making $17,000 a month. He's on LNG. And he's from my native where I belong to, and fortunately from Patna. And he says, so I said, what are you doing? I said, bhai, maine ek building bana li. Building ka shauk tha. तो एक building खड़ी कर ली है. So I asked him, what about the other money, what you're doing in? He says, no, Nikunj, I don't sail for more than 4 months in a year. I pay my taxes. He's earning $17,000 a month. He should have been sailing 9 months a year. Imagine that's the amount of money. But he sails 4 months in a year. He pays his taxes. So is it, and this is a very important question at your age you need to understand, because all of you are going to become graduates. मैं तो 12वीं pass हूँ. So think about it. By the end, I'm going to come back to this question again. So how my journey started off, and this is very, very important. So I call myself 12वीं fail. I failed in physics, chemistry and maths. My wife is sitting here, and we were dating then. And my mom says she is responsible for my failure. लड़की के चक्कर में पड़ेगा तो fail होगा. It's a fact. But that's not the fact. She's going to hit me back at home. So it was physics, chemistry, maths I failed. And I failed in failing also very miserably. So when you are a young boy and a girl like of your age, all these hormonal changes are happening in your head. So I decided to get 0 in my paper. And really I tried very hard. So physics, I went and watched a movie called Dude, Where Is My Car? Maths, I went and watched a movie called Something About Mary. So it's physics, maths and chemistry. And the last movie I watched was Never Been Kissed. And what I did in all these papers, I wrote names. Just wrote my name, waited for half an hour because you're not allowed to come out of your board exams. Imagine what a stupid fool I am. I was trying to get 0, trust me. My marks are 9, 11 and 13, all even. Physics, chemistry, maths. I'm like, how do you land up getting these marks? So eventually I knew I was going to fail. And I was scared. I knew I was going to fail. So the moment the result comes, so I have my friend called Yesha, she calls me up and Nikunj, you have failed. I said, yeah, I know I'm going to fail, but I failed. So she's like, what? You have failed? As in you have failed? I said, no, I wanted to get 0. But it's true that if you write your name in the paper, they give you some marks. So I got 9, 11 and 13 unfortunately. And that set in a panic. So what I did, I went to this railway station. I don't know how many of you know, from Churchgate there's a train which runs across to Virar, right end of one village. Though it is really nearer than Panvel and Vashi, but when you say you are from Virar, you come from that village, it's like that. So there's a station in between called Naigaon. So I reached there at 8 o'clock and I wanted to suicide. And I sat there till 11:30 in the night. And kept thinking what went wrong. And I said, I can't go and face my parent. I am so in my boards in 10th standard I got 92.3. So imagine a merit holder failing in 12th standard, what it's going through his mind. So I realized I failed actually. And that dawned upon me. At 11:15 in the night I decided, what will happen? घर जाएंगे तो कुटाई होगी. इससे ज़्यादा क्या होगा? At 11:15 in the night, I just sat there and decided, no, I will not kill myself. And this really required a lot of guts because I was sitting right onto the side of the tracks. And I wanted to throw away my life. My mom and dad were, calling up everybody. It was not the time when we used to have a cell phone. And, that changed my whole thought process of what I am today. So I said, I failed today. I'm never going to fail again. So I go back home. For 2-3 days, I'm the most beloved child of my parent. They really take care of me. But we come from Bihar, my dad from Navi. चौथे दिन से ऐसी कुटाई शुरू हुई. Trust me. So then, that's where my life actually starts. That is the point in my life. Till then I was the best student, From 7th I've been the best student of my school. 7th best student, 8th best student, 9th best student, 10th best student. But 12th is when a question mark comes on me from my parent, and everything I do in my life I have to prove myself. So my journey starts from there, proving myself. And this was the biggest challenge. Imagine how difficult it is that, even today, my dad tells my daughter, Papa se padhai mat karana hai to pehli 12th mein fail ho gaya hai. So it's so difficult to convince. So my life started from there, of proving myself. That itself was a challenge. So when I go for my boards, the next attempt, my college was very kind enough. Generally when you go for a second attempt or 12th, they turn it private, and then you are a repeater. But being the best athlete of the college, and for the first time ever we had ever reached quarterfinals in cricket. I was already playing for Mumbai under 19 then. So college said we'll do something, and they did some hanky-panky, and they gave me a fresh 12th. And that's how I got into Merchant Navy. It's a secret. So they gave me a fresh 12th. And now my parents did not trust me. So in your, right, physics, chemistry, maths again, we have practicals, right? Out of 100 marks, 25 marks is practicals, right? माँ बाप ने अलाउ ही नहीं किया देने को, बोलता भाग जाएगा फिर. They did not trust me. So I had a 75 marks paper. Absolute 75 marks paper. No 25. And I was told I have to get 60% because dad said you are going to go out at sea. You are the black sheep of the family. There is no other option for you. So could you guess what is my marks out of 75? And what was my average for that board exam? Any wild guess? Any wild guess? Come on, speak. You need to speak up in life. That's very important. Yeah, tell me. Yeah, I was appearing only for 75. Yep. Yeah, so more or less close. My average was 69. Physics 69. Math 69. Yeah, I heard that. Chemistry 69. Biology 89. So that's how an average comes to aggregate 69.9. By then, my wife had already crossed her boards and she was in the same, matching me together. We were now in the same class. And then I joined JESCO. I was selected by JESCO and I went out at sea. While this was happening I had my younger brother. I was out at sea, I was doing my pre-sea and मैं बदमाश हूँ थोड़ा. So I was a 36-month cadet. I was on my 35th month of sea time. And I'm proudly saying about it because now I don't need to go to MMD to give my exams or go for my certificate renewals. So I was in my 35th month of sea time. I had this chief mate and these chief mate then time were terrible. Really terrible. So you woke up at 3:30 in the morning. He comes on the bridge at 4:30 and says, you have come up late. I said, no sir. After 35 months of sea time, you already think you are captain of the ship. That gets into a cadet's head. So while talking, he holds my collar and pushes me to the wall. So there's this Christmas tree light on the bulkhead. When he pushes me, the light actually hits on the back of my head. So it slightly gets loose here. So I take out my slipper and I start hitting with that. We were approaching Kimitsu. And it's in your head. Arrogance is in your head. You're 35 months. Kya hoga mera? Kimitsu, they area me down. Now I'm back in the office. 1 month to go and I'm sacked from the ship. Now the whole world comes upon me and I say, oh my God. So I arrive there and Captain AP Sethi is there and he says, Acha, tu bhi aa gaya? I said, yes sir. Bala, your batchmate is also here. So we had two batchmates, me and Amit together, we had hit our chief mates. And together now we are working as peon for 6 months in the office. Now these were tough times of life also. My dad was not pretty doing well. He was a sailor in the Navy and those times salaries used to be pretty less. He had retired, he had starting off his business. It was pretty tough. So he used to get down at Andheri station and our office used to be in Powai. And I used to get down at Andheri station at 7 in the morning and I used to walk up all the way to Powai and come back again. This was everyday routine for next 6 months. 12 रुपए मिलते थे, घर पे बताया नहीं था कि sack हो गया है. $80 is what I was getting a month, which had stopped coming then, and dollar was 42 rupees then. So it was my mistake. So 6 months I went every day and so did Amit. We used to go to the office, they used to use us as peon and it was perfect. That taught me that whatever it is, everybody on that ship is under certain kind of stress. You cannot raise your hands. I'm like, you need to take control of yourself. Do not let anger get better of you. And I'm really glad that BSM did that to me. For 6 months working as peon, and there was this Miss Rita and Captain AP Sethi, I was able to manage. So then they were seeing which ships were available for cadets to join. I put my file there. Madam, mula aap to chadha do. And for 6 months I went and did another 5 months. Another 6 months actually. So I did 41 months as a cadet. That was the punishment I got. So this punishment really taught me that never allow anger get better of you. I may get angry today, but I'm in full control of myself. That was very important and one of the most important phase of my life. So it's very important for all of you, what you are learning today. You need to keep it, all the positive thing, keep adding it into your knowledge bank. Because you don't know where this is going to come out. So now I complete my cadetship. My sea life is really good. As I said, I had decided I would never fail, so I never failed an exam. I cleared my exams. My younger brother, so while I was doing, I was masti khor. So I used to live my life nicely, sail for 6 months, 8 months, 9 months or 11 months and come back and rest for 6 months. While parallelly my younger brother was a competitor, he used to compete with me only. So he became master before me. He was 4 years younger to me, he became master, I was a mate. So one day me and my batchmate, we were talking to me, he said, captain banega to baat kar, abhi nahi. I said, yaar tu 4 saal chota hai mere se. Bolta, don't talk to me like this. So he said, okay. So it was a compulsion to become a captain, nahi to chota bhai captain bana reh jayega. So I became a master. While I became a master, he quit sea. Now the story goes to my brother. My brother is the state topper, 10th standard and 12th standard. Our days getting 90% was like 10 people in the state. Today we get 99.99 also some marks. So he was 17th in state, in boards, and 12 boards. He was getting into chemical engineering, but he said he would go out at sea if he is not allowed to do graduation because he wanted to do civil services. So conservative family, my dad said, nahi, ek ladka itna kama raha hai, dusra itna kam, kaise kamaega? Then you go out at sea. So he went and he joined fleet management. He was a brilliant guy, so they just took him. Getting his command, earning $14,700 a month, on his first ship after 4 months, he comes to dad and says, Dad, now can I quit sea? Try to think, for 9 years, this boy, exactly 9 years, this boy has put his heart and soul for all the exams he have given. So there is a Captain Chaudhary who used to teach us, everybody calls him Junior Captain Chaudhary. The same master exams which he has given, I have also given, my wife knows it. And he has walked up to my wife and said, Bola, bhaiya ko bolo thoda padne ko. So I was in hospital on Saturday and I go and give exam on Monday. 2 of the guys pass out from our batch. One of them is me. Some are God gifted. But this boy for 9 years, day in and day out, his only one was to become a master. He joined sea at 16 and a half and then quit. So 4 months of command, $14,700 in hand, and he quit sea after that. Think, is money important? Just keep thinking about it. So this boy comes across and says, Dad, now I have done what you wanted, because you wanted 4 stripes on our shoulder, I have done it. And he quits. He goes to a place called Delhi, called Karol Bagh. पिक्चरों में भी हमने देखा होगा, सुना होगा, आप में से लोग दिल्ली के होंगे. And there is a gully called Suwar Wali Gully near Vajira. He takes up a place which is 6 feet by 8 feet in space. And it's important, why I'm talking on today's, it's National Startup Day, what entrepreneurship is all about. These are the inspiration you need to take. So here for next 5 years, he studies. He gets married in this. Because लड़का बुड्ढा हो रहा है तो हमारे साइड शादी नहीं होती, ज़्यादा उम्र निकल जाती है, तो dad got him married off. He gets a daughter also in this. 5 attempts. Still no sign of. But there is something to his testament, there is something to his resilience, there is something to his perseverance. And by God, there is no bigger person than my dad and my brother who inspires me. So when he gives his first attempt, and Wilson College was his center in Mumbai, he walks up to us and said, अब मुझे UPSC prelims में fail नहीं कर सकता है. Graduation on the go किया है, master के basis पे equivalency मिली है. UPSC आप लोग ने भी सोचा होगा. कितनों ने सोचा UPSC? हाथ उठाओ चलो. So I have one boy. 15 lakh people attempt. 24 lakh people think of giving. Very good. So he comes out and says, अब मुझे UPSC prelims में fail नहीं करेगी. मैं बोला पागल हो गया, क्या बोल रहा है ये, हर जगह पे डंडा लेके खड़ा हो जाता है. Mind you, for next 4 attempts, he never failed in prelims. So second attempt, he goes into mains. Exam which happens in December. And see the cycle of UPSC, you have to understand. It starts from February, you start preparing for prelims. In May, you give your prelims, the result comes in August. You start preparing for mains. Your mains is in December, the result of you. Imagine the resilience. Imagine this perseverance. So this is what he did for his 9 years of merchant navy also. उसका दिमाग क्लियर था, फंडा क्लियर था, फोकस क्लियर था कि मुझे मास्टर बन के निकल जाना है बाहर, बिकॉज मेरे पिताजी की रिक्वायरमेंट है, मेरी नहीं. कंजर्वेटिव में मैं यार, आई कम फ्रॉम अ फैमिली. And why? Because my dad is also right. You would say he's a very cruel dad when his son was so brilliant. Why he did this to him? मैं 8वीं में था, 1000 रुपए चाहिए था. I was playing Mumbai under 14. पारस मामरे, you know, there was an old cricketer, fast bowler. उसके जूते मिल रहे थे 1200 रुपए में, घर पे नहीं थे 1200 रुपए. So I went to my principal. I'm very close to him even today. He's like a god to me. So I said, sir 1200 रुपए चाहिए. बोला ये मैं दे सकता हूँ तुझे, नौकरी करेगा. एंड उस समय कोई चाइल्ड लेबर कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं था. सो डेस्कटॉप प्रिंटिंग वाज अ बिग थिंग इन अर्ली 92 93. यू नो, विजिटिंग कार्ड जो आप छपवा लेते हो आजकल प्रिंट ऑनलाइन से, getting a visiting card or a brochure printed was very big thing in 92. Used to have this AC ka kabra. So I was given 100 rupees a day for auto fare, and I had from Virar I had to go to dukan, shop to shop, all the way till Vasai, come back from the other side. It was 18 kilometers in total. What I did, I started running. I used to run from Virar east, come back from Virar west. I used to save 100 rupees. 13 दिन में 1300 रुपए बचाए. प्रिंसिपल के पास गया, सर मुझे इतनी की जरूरत थी. तो बोलता फिर नौकरी क्यों करा, छोड़ दे. पूछा कमाया कैसे लेकिन इतनी जल्दी. सो डॉक्टर जवाहर जोशी, who is चाचा of my own classmate Bhas Joshi, he went and checked, did I really did my job? I went to all the shops consecutively for complete 13 days. So my focus was clear. So that's how our dad is. So this boy comes back, second attempt he gives, and then he says, आज के बाद मुझे कोई मेंस में फेल नहीं करेगा. And this is his word. It was, the center was again Wilson College. So now he decides and tells dad, अब मैं बाकी एग्जाम दिल्ली से दूंगा, यहाँ से नहीं, my center. So my dad has a rigor, you know, when you give UPSC, it is not the student who is giving civil services. It's the whole family which is giving services, civil services. It's the same with you boys. किसी के पापा ने जमीन रखी होगी, because these courses are very expensive. People invest, take loan. So your whole family is here with you while you guys are doing these B.Techs to go out at sea. I understand that. I've seen that. So gives his third attempt, he goes into the interview, he fails. Gives his fourth attempt, goes to the interview, he fails. Now he's searching 30, general category. Abhishap hai, if you're a general category, sorry to say, but it's his last attempt. 5 years he has been away from sea, so he cannot go back to sea as a master, especially not on a chemical tanker. His batchmates, 2 of them are already sitting in office. One has gone to Malmo or Sweden. Other are super senior masters. One is doing a parallel business at stock exchange. So you know how mentally it affects you? That everybody next to you in your life, and peer pressure is the toughest. Everybody next in your life has moved up the ladder, right? And where are you? You are stagnant at that 6 feet ka 8 feet ka kamre mein. Imagine what that boy is going through with a wife and a daughter which is now 2 years old. He's not earning. He is not earning. He had a lifestyle. He has left that. He is not earning. तो कहते हैं कि बंदे खुदी को कर बुलंद इतना कि खुदा भी तुमसे पूछे कि बता तेरी रजा क्या है. सच है ये, सच में सच है ये. You will say कि कहानी बना रहा है, but सच्चाई बता रहा हूँ. This boy comes on his last attempt, and dad told him ये last attempt तो बॉम्बे से थे, दिल्ली से नहीं. 11 in the night comes down crying. सेज लोग 16 पढ़ते हैं तो मैं 18 पढ़ता हूँ, 18 तो 20, 20 तो 22, 22 तो 24, 24 के बाद 2 घंटा तो सोना पड़ेगा मुझे। मेरे पास भगवान ने बुद्धि इतनी दी है तो क्या करूं मैं? So dad never says best of luck, he says बेटा जितना पढ़ा है, and we were talking about him sitting in the hall, से जितना तूने किया है उतना मिलेगा तुझे, चिंता मत कर। So he goes, gives exams, he comes out, paper were fantastic, सब सही है, result आता है, his name is not there. Imagine a master mariner, imagine a father to a daughter, husband to a wife, 6 by 8 feet ka kamra, earning zero. Somebody who's held up his head high, all his peers have moved up the ladder. Kya kare ye? So never in the history of civil services has ever happened that all of a sudden the reserve list comes in within a day and a half. And me and daddy, we are very positive people, we are cool. You know, when he comes down crying, his name is not there, we say कि reserve list में तो तेरा आएगा, कुछ किस्मत तेरी खराब है, कहीं कुछ गड़बड़ है, you will get it. So the reserve list comes and the first name is Vineet Parashar और उसके नीचे 24 लोग. When we tally the marks, Vineet was all India ranker in his theory. It's only his interview where he lost his marks. And that's how Vineet gets into the Ministry of Defense. So was it easy of becoming a bureaucrat? Was it easy of chasing his dreams? From our district, from Thane, he was the only person who got into civil services that year. He was felicitated here in Pune by TN Session then. A moment of proud not only for Palghar district but for a moment of proud also from the district from where I come from, Bihar. But did it happen overnight? Was it so far easy for him to believe in his dreams from day one, from his childhood? हम तो बिहार के, हमें पता ही है IIT engineering या civil services होता है. But unfortunately we lived in Mumbai. So वो भी अच्छे से नहीं पता था. Was it easy? Now it's on all of you to decide what is your dream is. Where you want to take your life, where you want to steer your life. So coming to the question again, does $14,000 give you BMW? I have come here in a BMW, a big one. Did I buy out at sea? Sorry. You don't. You absolutely don't. Recently, 40 master mariners and chief engineers have come together, opened a company, and have invested in me 8 crore rupees. 40 master mariners and chief engineers together. Some gave 5, some gave 10. They wanted to be a part of my journey. There was only one master mariner who was 63 years old, who is still sailing. He came in a BMW. I know what he asked question, he asked me, then Nikunj, what you are doing is going to take away the job of mariners. Is he updated also what is happening in the world? So think again. And this is a very important question for all of you boys to feel motivated and start believing in your own dream, because that power to realize your dream is in your hand. Nobody else. परेशानियां सबको होती है. On 12th of August, I got a heart attack. My wife is sitting here. She came to know after 3 days. My team told my wife that I am working inside DRDO. She's sitting here. The journey from my factory to the hospital was of 52 minutes. Last 12 minutes I was not breathing. My co-founder and my mechanical head gave me mouth-to-mouth respiration CPR. I don't know what happened with 12 minutes of journey. When I got up, I said, don't tell my wife about it. My mom and dad were in Bihar. My brother and his family was in Ladakh. I said, don't tell them. My brother-in-law stays in Pune. He was shivering. Scared. I said मैं मरेगा नहीं इतनी जल्दी. (2018) 1st of August, left hand side paralyzed. Today also while I'm talking to you, you know, I've started to feel okay, but I've come with a neck rest. I have a complete pain on my left hand side. Does it allow me to let go my dream? Does it allow you to believe in myself or in my team? No. Who has the power to change your own life? It's you. It's very important. Money is not even secondary. Money is tertiary. So here I come to what it starts off. So by 2015, 2013, when I came back and I joined my dad, it was pretty tough time. And it was exactly 1st of Jan. He was going through extensive issues. He was losing close to 3 crore rupees a year. And it was a repair business which I was not enjoying at all. By 2015, we were down by 17 crores. I was just telling sir. By then, I was also at IIMS Ahmedabad. And by 2016, we were supposed to be declared as NPA. And when I say that for inspiration, don't go out, look into yourself, into your own family, there will be those little bit of inspiration which matters a lot. While parallelly this is happening, we were supposed to be declared NPA, including a house I had got in Dahej, you know, in Dowry. बिहार के हम कुछ तो लेते ही है. So that had also gone into the bank. Now imagine. So I was with my dad into the bank and the bank manager says, सही साहब, 17 करोड़ तो आपने लिया ही हुआ है 9 करोड़ के अगेंस्ट, तो चलो और पैसा ले लेते हैं. I realized scam कैसे होता है. So we went to bank and I did teleconference room like sir's office. And there was this SVP at one side, SVP 2, my dad on one side of the table. I was sitting next to my dad, and this young girl in 24 years of age, some AVP, you know, and she's going through all dad's paper. Uncle ka ye sahi nahi hai, uncle ka wo sahi nahi hai, uncle ka ye sahi nahi hai. And uncle looks at her and says, "Beta, umr kitni hai tumhari?" I said, कहते हैं कि जब बुड्ढे होते हैं तो सटिया जाते हैं. Look at dad, पागल हो गया बुड्ढा. He's asking the girl his age. And she was pretty looking, like, what's wrong with dad? And I said, अब तो बेटा गर्क हो गया. She's like, yes uncle. बोला बेटा उम्र कितनी है तुम्हारी? So she candidly says, uncle 24. तो बोला रहने ही दो ना, 27 साल तो कंपनी को हो गए हैं. So the SVP2 laughs and says, सिंह साहब कितने पैसे चाहिए? He said 1.5 करोड़ और. तो बोला सिंह साहब 1.5 करोड़ दूंगा पर एक प्रॉमिस करना पड़ेगा. तो बोले क्या? तो बोला जो पहला 1.5 करोड़ आएगा उसे आपको FD बैंक में रखना पड़ेगा, so that you don't have to come to me like this, and you promise me you're never going to touch that money. So we did that. So while Sagar Defense was starting up in parallel, I was working with dad to take him over. So my biggest challenge of my dad is, and family, you know, coming to family, you have to keep proving. He says मैं हर काम आधा करता हूँ, because I wanted to quit from the day one I joined. See, second में बना डैडी छोड़ दो, धंधा करना है. मास्टर बन गया डैडी तो कमा ले. So when I joined him, I said, Dad, मैं अपना start करना चाहता हूँ. बोला क्या करना चाहता है? मतलब कुछ तो करना चाहता हूँ. I said क्या करना चाहता है? मतलब कुछ तो. तो बोले कुछ should have some name, right? I said I'm thinking. बोला you work here. You always want to have easy way out in life. So I had to convince my dad that exactly what I wanted to do. And when I got him out of his troubles, and we did it together, I would say, very proudly as a father and son. I asked him 8 years. I said, give me 8 years of my life. My dad is 71 today. He has 300 people running a fantastic business. And I'm completely out of it. I don't look at, he is in Mumbai, I am in Pune. So that was the first assurance when your dad tells you that go. That means he trusts कि मैं अपना कुछ कर लूँगा. It also means that you feel good about yourself, that what you're thinking is right. And no better than your parent. उनसे अच्छा कोई तुम्हें नहीं बता सकता है. So I went out and I thought unmanned system, I had already done the first boat for the Navy and said this is a fantastic work for me. I'll go out there, go to the armed forces and tell them I'm going to save your life and this is what I have done and I'm going to save more. They are going to happily buy from me and I'm going to become a multimillionaire like you guys, isn't it? That's what you do when you start your startup, right? Ah, yes, many of you are thinking like that. So I went thinking like that. So I went with a system, but with the hardware and software. They said, where is the boat? I said, which boat? No, you have a system, but you prove it on a boat. I said, you give me a boat. They said, why will you give you our boat? Bring your own boat. So this is a challenge. So I bought a boat. So now I went with a boat. I said, sir, here is the boat. No, but this is not military boat. I said, sir, what is military boat? So there are certain standards on mil specs on which these boats are manufactured in, and they have certain deliverables. I said, I'm a hardware and a software builder. Why you want military boat from me? He said, how do we test your system? I said, on your. Bola, no, we need your boat. So that boat also went out of picture. Now, he said, now this is a boat, this is a problem, and I have already done the stuff for them, and still I am having this problem. And I got pretty frustrated. Extremely frustrated. So I went to my, in an anger, I was going somewhere and I wrote a letter to the defense minister. Why people like us should come to India? Young blood, urta teer hai, maar diya maine, chala diya. That young blood should not come to India. It's all make in India and all that. And I wrote to the Honorable late Shri Manohar Parrikar ji this letter. And I forgot. I wrote, I forgot. And there comes the call. हम रक्षा मंत्रालय से बोल रहे हैं. I was like, रक्षा मंत्रालय क्या होता है? अच्छा आपने खत लिखा है, मतलब कौन सा? अरे हम डिफेंस मिनिस्ट्री से बोल रहे हैं, आपने रक्षा मंत्री को खत लिखा है. I said yes, 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 yes. वो आपको बुला रहे मिलने के लिए. Oh my God. The whole ground under my feet disappeared. So गुरु का कितना महत्व है आपके लाइफ में, आपको यहाँ पता चलेगा. So I called up my professor from IIMS Ahmedabad, Sri Sunil Handa, and I said, sir, एक मैंने तीर चलाया था, उल्टा तीर वो पकड़ लिया. तो बोले क्या किया तूने नया? तो बोला, sir, I wrote a letter to the defense minister, and he said he called you. I said yes, sir. So now what's your plan? Bola, sir, I'm scared because this is going to backfire. In India, who writes to minister, and that too, I wrote in my anger, never thinking that he will call me. There will be thousands of like me writing these letters. गुरु ब्रह्मा, गुरु देव, गुरु महेश्वरा, तो गुरु ने कहा कि निकुंज चलो हम आपके और आपके पिताजी का इंटरव्यू सेशन रखेंगे. सो आई सेड सर मेरे पिताजी का. बोला पिताजी को भी लेके जाओ साथ में, मैं जानता हूं तू कैसा है, तेरी बुद्धि कैसी है, तो पापा को भी लेके जाओ साथ में. सो ही हैड सेशंस विद अस, अराउंड 7 interviews, and Professor Sunil Handa is somebody, if he takes 1 hour with you, he will charge you 11 lakh rupees a month, 11 lakh rupees an hour. The IV which you see, the IV fluid, the largest IV fluid chorus group was made by him. So he is somebody who has built a company of multi-billion dollars, sold it out, fantastic. He runs a school now called Eklavya. It's a beautiful school. Anytime you want to go outside Ahmedabad and go and see it. So he takes my interview sessions and he keeps saying, Nikunj is going to ask you, बताओ मुझसे काम क्या है? मतलब मिनिस्टर ऐसे थोड़ी पूछेगा बताओ मुझसे काम क्या है? Tell me, do you think if you go to the Prime Minister or the Defense Minister, is going to ask you, बताओ मुझसे काम क्या है? Give me an honest opinion. Will he ask you this on the first instant? No, no? Absolutely not. See, everybody is saying this. But professor said, no, Nikunj is going to ask you this only. I said, बुड्ढा भी पागल हो गया. But teacher है, क्या करे? Guru. So, when you enter the South Block, it's very overwhelming for a common man. Very overwhelming. You will have people looking at you like this. मतलब सर लगे सब raw IB सब यहीं भरा हुआ है. They look at you like this. You walk, and I enter and I see Nikhil Advani sitting there outside on a small chair. I said, this Pipava shipping guy. I get more nervous. Dad is super cool. He said, बेटा बहुत बढ़िया है, अंदर से अच्छा दिखता है. He is in his 65. He has already lived his life. He is enjoying. He said, चलो ये भी नई चीज देख लेते हैं. I am young, 35, 36-year-old. I am nervous. And that thing is drawing up. So they make us sit in the waiting room where big dignitaries of the world. So where I was sitting, possibly Bill Clinton would have sat. Sachin Tendulkar would have sat there, and that the chairs I'm sitting there, you know. So I'm feeling myself privileged कि चल यार इसी बहाने आप बैठ तो लिया. So they come and ask you, will you have tea, coffee, sir? मैं बोला यार कुछ मत दो, यहाँ बहुत हालत खराब है. So my dad also calls, along with him, he calls his batchmate, त्यागी uncle. He says, त्यागी को भी लेके चलते, हम दोनों explain करेंगे. तू चुप रहना. So now we are 3. So he says, okay. So, you know, something comes into my mind and says, Daddy, एक काम करो, आप रुको, मैं जाता हूँ. So Daddy says, are you sure यार? ये मौका life हमेशा नहीं देता. And I didn't know. But it came to me, I said, Daddy, it's my ball. I'll go and do it. देखा जाएगा जो होगा. Nothing more came into my mind. So he says, ठीक है, जा, बढ़िया है जितना तूने किया. मैं बोला अभी तो बेस्ट ऑफ लक बोल दो. नहीं जितना किया मिलेगा तुझे, चिंता मत कर. So Upendra Joshi ji, who is the OSD, he walks in and comes in. Nikunj, the Honorable Minister will meet you. मैं उठा, and it's the toughest walk of my life. Walking towards that door, he opens the door and says, Nikunj, you have 2 minutes. I said, बाप रे, 2 मिनट में क्या बोलूँ मैं? मिली, you know, वो group D का सम था, तो group F, G सब आ गया एक साथ. And he opens the door and he opens the door like this, and I enter and I see it's a big table chair. You see the presidential quarters there, and there are 7-8 people sitting there, and there is this guy. Sir, मेरा card, sir याद रखना ये कहाँ मैं कर दूँगा. And he walks up like this, right across me. And there's a bunch of file on his desk. One side there's a bunch of file on his desk. Here he said. So I went and I stood right in between them. मेरी शक्ल देख लो. And I was blank. तो कहते हैं कि कभी-कभी, you know, दिन के प्रहर में क्यों कहते हैं कि हमेशा जबान से आपकी अच्छी बातें निकालिए. हमेशा वाक्य जो होना चाहिए आपका अच्छा होना चाहिए. और सच हो जाते हैं, कहते हैं मर जाओ, और मर जाता है आदमी कभी-कभी. तो इसीलिए कहते हैं कि सरस्वती माता आके जबान पे आपके बैठती है. ये सच्चाई है. And I have felt it. It has happened with me. So I stand there looking at the Honorable Minister. And he looks there and he says, बताओ मुझसे काम क्या. मतलब है मिनिस्टर कब से बोल रहा है. तो ग्रुप डी सवाल था, अचानक से ग्रुप ए हो गया. Because this is something my guru did interview. But then I didn't know what to answer, so I kept quiet. So Manohar Parrikar ji used to wear these specs, used to come out like this, right? If you have remembered, go back on the video and see specs. So he keeps working for 5 minutes. तो मतलब 2 मिनट का टाइम था, 5 मिनट तो मिल गया मुझे देखते देखते ही. And I am all happy looking around and I'm like enjoying the moment of my life. See, it's always a learning in everything, right? So enjoy the moment. He looks up again. अरे बताओ मुझसे काम क्या है. मैं बोला माननीय मंत्री महोदय जी, इतने सालों की मेहनत 2 मिनट में कैसे बताऊं, इतनी मेरे पास बुद्धि नहीं है. She looks up at me, smiles, continues doing my work, and then he says, I get jittery. ये जो फाइल है ना, पढ़ जाते मेरे को पैनिक हो जाता, तू बैठ जा. And the way I said, somehow he felt I could speak Marathi. So he asked me, मराठी येतो का? बोला हो साहेब. बस. So possibly a gun of birth of Bihar, brought up by Shivaji Maharaj's land, did the magic. Those 2 minutes converted into 2 days over numerous phone calls. And I learned. I heard kavitas from him. Imagine, from then Defense Minister. And I'm writing a book on it called 2 Minutes with the Defense Minister, which converted into 2 days has changed my life. So at times certain stories in your life, certain upbringings, meeting people in your life changes your thought process. So one thing he told me, and that was डरना नहीं किसी से. Never be scared in your life. And trust me, moments will come in your life when you have all the power in your world, you're connected very well, but still you will be scared. Still you will be scared. So he said, डरना नहीं कभी. And that changed, really changed. So I went, I did, and I worked. I realized it was not working for me here in India. So I was selected as one of the top 10 maritime startups in the world, and I went to Netherlands. I was the only Indian there. While going there, our startup was running pretty bad. I had convinced these two guys from NASA to come and join me. But it was running pretty bad. We had lost all our money. So traveling all the way to Netherlands was costing us 2.5 lakh rupees. And this was the toughest period when my dad's business was also down. So I told a lie at home. I said that they are sponsoring the travel. The only thing they told me, we'll give you 500 euros for coming, not more than that. So I borrowed money from friends and I went to Netherlands. When I went there were total 22 different nationality people there with different countries like from Africa, Japan, Korea. I was the only Indian. They had come in group of 2, 3. I was the only Indian, not sponsored by the government, with only a surety that the program would give me $500 if I am not selected as one of the top 10. My heart sank in the first place. No experience of international business. The only thing I did, I was wearing Modi ji wala jacket. I said, that time he had made that Nehru jacket very famous. I had no idea to pitch. You know, startups, they pitch 30 seconds, elevator pitch, right? To me to explain unmanned systems would take me 1 hour. What I will pitch in 30 seconds? And there were 4 days of session. But there are good things in your life which you learn in your childhood. You know, you see, I'm a good storyteller. You agree? Right? So I knew this was my strength. I could say stories. But how do I say stories in a pitch? This itself was a challenge because they gave us 2 minutes. And in India, while I was trying to sell my product, from technology I had shifted into unmanned boats. So as an individual, I'm ready to adapt. I'm ready to change. So there they told me, Nikunj, your secret sauce is your tech, not the boat. There are so many boat builders. And being only Indian, poor little Indian there, you know, they had that soft corner also. So then I realized that what is the easiest way to sell them what I'm trying to do. And this is a catchy phrase which a lot of people now use to sell tech across. And I started off saying, and imagine, right, if I give you a pen and paper to write your name, how easy it is on a scale of 1 to 10? Come on, speak guys. 10, right? Now if I give you the same pen and paper, put you into a scuba diver suit and put you inside water, how easy to write your name on a scale of 1 to 10? So the most simple problem in maritime becomes complex and expensive to solve, right? So I spoke like this. I didn't tell them anything about my product. I said, I'm trying to solve your problems by autonomous systems. And beauty of this program, they had 28 tables where the big CEOs of Shell, BP, Venod, Boskalis, they were sitting there and they would interview you. I had no idea of foreign business, international business. So every table I moved, I learned. Every table I moved, I learned, and I kept on answering. For me, those 28 tables also changed the way I do business today. So by the time when the results came up, I was selected. I was one of the top 10 and the first Indian to be in Europe with an autonomous system company. The most funny part happens here is while being an Indian and with Honorable Prime Minister, the way he has created image of India, I'm telling you, the respect. So I had this man who was standing there and I spoke to him for good 42 minutes. And he's a very good friend of mine. After speaking to 42 minutes, he moved his way with a wine glass, I moved my way with the wine glass, and I didn't realize then what it was. So Paul Verul from Port of Rotterdam walks up and says, Nikunj, how was the discussion with the Prime Minister? I said, where is the Prime Minister? He said, you didn't meet the Prime Minister. I said, no, in India we don't meet the Prime Minister like this. Where is the Prime Minister? So he holds my hand, takes up me to the gentleman and said, Mr. Prime Minister, introduce yourself well next time. That's Peter John Balkenende, former Prime Minister of, now I call him, former Prime Minister of Netherlands. But in him I got a friend. So when we inaugurated our facility last year, 2021, I called up Peter and that's how I talked to him. And I said, Peter, can the Consul General at least from Mumbai come across to us? He said, Nikunj, why the Consul? The Ambassador will also come, the RVO team will also come. We had delegation of 8 people here, blessed by the Ambassador and the Consul General. It's a dream I was living. It's a dream which was happening, and there were people on the way who were working towards it. But how? If you have the right intention, you will have the right integrity, if you're willing to perceive, if you're resilient, things will fall in place for you. So we move on from there. I get a grant from Europe to work here in India, and we are operating out of a 1200 square feet office. Now we come here in India, we are exporting systems out of India, and there somebody walks into my office one day. We don't know who he is. He speaks to us for good 2.5 hours, and we crib him all about where the government has not supported, the armed forces have not supported, and after 2.5 hours says, I've come from the armed forces. I was checking on Google, and I checked top 10 companies in robotics in India. Your name was third. I'd spoken to others, but not you guys, so I wanted to see what you guys are doing in. This person, I would not like to name him here because he's still in the services. He changed. He changed our destiny. He is the one who is carrying our baton across. And trust me, he doesn't do anything out of the books. He goes to a customer and says, hey look, this is your problem statement. These are the guys. That's how it is. So this man went across. So you need one person in your life who is going to hold your baton for you, who is going to sprint for you to run that relay. It's not you. It's not you. हिंदी में कहते हैं कि पथिक वो कभी राह में मिल जाता है, वो भी एक भगवान का स्वरूप होता है. जरूरी नहीं है कि आपके साथ काम करने वाला हर व्यक्ति से आपको कोई फायदा हो. Don't look at an individual, what opportunity you're going to get out of him. That's how at times it becomes, right? इससे क्या फायदा हो रहा है, ये मेरी क्या मदद कर रहा है, इससे तो कुछ होता ही नहीं है. ये बातें होती होंगी आपस में. Please tell me. I want this out from you guys. Not necessary. You don't need to look at someone. Most important for you in life to understand is, if you have to grow, what have you given across? What is your achievement in life? It's not success. We don't call our achievement in life by building a factory, going in a BMW and having houses everywhere. Your achievement in life is not in attainment, but it is in trying. And this is what entrepreneurship is all about. When you want to become an entrepreneur, there is no option, because you are going to fail the very next day. This is imminent. Nobody can prevent you other than you yourself. If you are resilient to get up, move up, go ahead. So 1st of August 2018, when I was paralyzed, the ONGC said we are going to sign the shareholding contract. My very first investment. By then I had never flew in a business class in my life. Look at the positive side, one paralysis and I fly business class. So my wife was on one side, my brother-in-law on one side, pushing me across. We went there. When my investors saw me in that state, they said, this is the entrepreneur we want to invest in. Today I have just raised more than $6 million. It's the same investors who have come on. Because for an entrepreneur it's very important, and for an investing team it's important because they invest in that individual. They invest in that team. If you do not have resilience, if you do not have perseverance in yourself, how do you expect you're going to hold up a ship? It's just by your command. You'll get a cadet like me who will slap you with slippers. Or like Amit who will push you down in the tank. People are not going to look at you. You are not in the armed forces. We are competent people. So your competency matters, and in the real world, it's not the rank, it's the competency, right? Real world is all about sharks out there. You do a mistake, somebody is going to take it away from you. So it's very important for you to have that resilience and perseverance. Your passion. These three things are input to your output in real life. How do you mature up? How your company behaves? How you bag your contract orders? These three things are input to your motivation, to your focus, to your dream. If you think that you're becoming masters or chief engineers when you have 1 crore rupees or 2 crore rupees in your pocket and you will start your company, sorry. Recently we just raised 8 crore rupees, it disappeared in 7 days. 8 crore rupees in 7 days. That's how it is. So it's important, do you have the courage to go out and take it? That's important. That's what an entrepreneurship is all about. It's just not about a brilliant idea which you have in your mind. It's about an individual. It is about that crazy followers behind that individual. It is about that team which is going to then believe in that crazy and a brilliant idea to take it to the next level. That's very important. And you don't need billions to buy a BMW. I realized recently. So what happened? So I stayed for 11 months at Lonavala, away from my family, because we were setting up the new factory. We are expanding right now while I speak to you. We are going in a 2.5 acre plus. So my kids were in Mumbai. I was at Lonavala. And when you have a maid to cook, you know how she cooks, like this. So wives are very tough. So then it was getting tough for me, and I used to have these blood pressure fluctuation post-COVID. And one fine day while coming from the office, I collapsed in my car. So my driver was there with me. He took me to the hospital. I woke up. I said, I'm in the hospital? He said, "Ha sir, aapka BP gir gaya tha." I said, "Acha, acha." Then I realized my mom said, you know, it comes to my mind, how stupid mind is, and I'm a stupid fellow. My mom said, "Beta, kabhi BMW, Mercedes hogi hamare paas to bahut acha lagega." So he said, "Main mar gaya to kaise hoga ye?" He said, "I'll die very fast possibly. I have burned out myself." See, that's how fragile a mind is. So I go home, I don't tell anybody. Next day morning, I said, "Yaar, chalo." My driver, I said, BMW खरीदना है. बोलते नहीं सर, रेंज रोवर अच्छा होता है. मैं बोला सर चलाने में मजा आएगा. बोला अच्छा ठीक है चलो. We went to the Range Rover showroom. We went there. I said I need it in 1 week. I was scared I may not survive. Imagine. I am thinking this. What an idiot. I have burned out myself. I don't know I am getting these intuitions. And these are signs of alone. When your family is not there with you. When you only sit at the night and play saxophone. Big problem. So he said, "No, I can't give in a week." I said, "Okay, I don't want your car." So he went to the other, he said, "BMW." So I go there, I walk in shorts with a t-shirt. So I generally am dressed up very well. I'm generally in shorts and Hawaii chappal. And my t-shirt will generally have a hole because I love the fabric. So phati gaya to bhi chalega. So this lady at the showroom, she told him, "Bhikhari has come." So he said, "Madam, gaadi kharidna hai abhi." बोली सर मतलब अभी खरीदना है अभी. सर अभी मतलब हाँ अभी जो गाड़ी है बताओ अभी लूंगा. So she panicked. So customers like us are called impulsive customers. It's there in marketing. We are impulsive customers. We'll take it. We want it now. And we are the best customers. One of us will walk in, but it makes a day for them. So he shows me this car, and he says, "एक week में delivery चाहिए. देगा तो लेगा, नहीं तो मैं दूसरे के पास जाता हूँ." नहीं sir, I will give you. And I bought my BMW. You know how much I bought it for? 60,370 rupees EMI. You can buy in your credit ship also. Only 60,370 rupees EMI. Now percentage have gone out, it's gone to 61,370 rupees. With the interest rate going up, RBI increasing the repo rates. So as a credit, you would get around $300, $350. Tell me. Rich guys. You already can afford a BMW. So what's next? What's next? Maybe ₹1,00,000 in EMI. Bugatti, ₹2.5 lakh in EMI. Doesn't take much. The best part of these cars is, when they go bad, you are treated like a pathetic customer. Better is Maruti Suzuki. Trust me, they treat you much more better. I had the recent experience. So what you are working towards is BMW or Ferrari or a big house. You will be saying, "I stay at Lonavala. Yeah, I have a fantastic bungalow." You know Della Adventures? Lonavala Della Adventures? How many of you? Only one guy. यार बाकी कोई जाता ही नहीं है बाहर. You are very good. So I have a house bang opposite. You know who my neighbors are? Harsha Bogle, you know? He lives in the third bungalow. Rakesh Junjulwala, no, not there. He lives there. Radhakrishna Damani, neighbor. Morgan Stanley, head, director India, immediate neighbor. His daughter, very good friend of my daughter. 1,40,000 rupees EMI में घर आता है. That's the bungalow price. 1,40,000 rupees. You know what's my salary from the company? So add 1,40,000 rupees, 61,370 rupees. Come on, tell me the figure. Fast. Huh? After deducting the taxes, I only save 7,000 rupees in hand. People call me to teach. I go to IIMS Ahmedabad. I go and take lectures. Some pay me 14,000, some pay me 10,000, some pay me 9,000. Even the military institutes pay me 9,000 rupees. Most important, what Amir Khan said in Three Idiots says. क्या बोला था? Please, अरे यार, all is well ना. It's very important. It's very important for you to understand. पैसा आता है. पैसा आता है. It will come running behind you where you are. Because if shipping and you take this as a pipe, और एकदम से एक चूहा भी छोड़ा, and if he has the perseverance and resilience, he is going to come out of that pipe as a lion, at the end as a master, right? शेर बनेगा. ये तो है ही आपके पास. ये pipeline तो है ही आपके पास life में. This is there. This is certain, which you guys are going to make it at the end of the day. Why don't you try something different in life? You need to step out of your comfort zone. If you do not step out of your comfort zone, great. You will be investing in your friend's company like 40 people invested in mine. And friends of yours would be more than welcome. Because नौकरी में तो आप उतना ही कमाओगे. Business opens the world to you. And as you grow in your life, it's all about being relevant. It's not about what you have in your bank balance, though it's important, but how relevant you are. And how you become relevant, especially if you're going to change a destiny, or you have the capability, you realize that you can change how a country is dreaming. So when we made our first platform, Varuna, which was, you guys are aware about Varuna? Yes. You will not be aware of something else. There were close to 38 videos made on me in Pakistan by the Pakistan YouTubers. That was the best thing I could ever have in my life, not being a man in arms. Imagine when I, as an Indian, is able to develop a technology which creates ripple in Pakistan, and where you get YouTube channels talking about you and really praising you and your organization and the country, it means a lot. It really means a lot. So it's more important in life is create that difference. And I think what is the present government has done is given this opportunity to all of us. There are ways you can raise funds. There are ways you can move on in your life of really funding and taking to the next level. Infosys was a startup, they did not have that opportunity then, but today we all have that. I think it's time when all of you can leverage on it. All of you can really change the way shipping is looking at. You know, in today's time when you're looking at drones, you're looking at information technologies across, the way it is disrupting, especially the big data, it's amazing. I mean, all these projects what I've seen across is amazing. And I just came to know most of you are nautical cadets, you know, same like me. So engineer तो हम खुद बन जाते हैं, उसके लिए पढ़ाई की जरूरत नहीं होती. I know a lot of engineers will feel bad. Okay, so but then you have to work hard, just work hard. I could do softwares, I'm doing electronics, I'm doing electrical, I'm doing mechanical. I think that's possible for all of you here across. Find your goal, find your dream, get yourself focused, and in the end I would say just move on. You know, that's important. Just don't make shipping your only way of life to go ahead. You guys are young. There's a lot of psychological stresses. I would not like to really deem or put your motivation down. But when I go to institutes and when I talk to people on certain platforms, especially in Maritime, sir, I have realized there is a lot of issues, especially on the psychological side, which young generations are facing it. The biggest problem is this. internet. This has become a life. The cell phone has become a life. But out at sea, if you make this your life still there, you're going to break your legs. My 2 batchmates have died. My brother's batchmate in cadetship has died. So life is not easy out there. You may be sailing on the most of the best of the ships. You may be sailing with best of the equipments, but still it is rudimentary when you are out there 4,000 nautical miles away from your home, away from the port. If there is a fire, you have no other option but yourself. You have a death on board, it's your problem, nobody else. I have been unfortunate enough to see 7 deaths. I have been unfortunate to have a fire in Port of Mangalore as chief officer. It was an oil carrier. Morning 6:15, shorts and chappal, I was sleeping. And the scrubbers in the boiler did not cope up. And my deck seal, you guys are aware about deck seal, right? The deck seal was leaking. This was a bloody pathetic vessel. The water level went down. The cadet standing there did not monitor. Yeah, that's his job, unfortunately. It backfired. Luckily, it did not go into the tank, and the whole IG room came up. Along with the top 2 decks came up. Everybody in those decks were on the deck because we were towards the stripping stage. So everybody was on deck. As a mate, I would not lie to you. I came back on the poop deck. I stood there with a walkie-talkie in my pocket, in shorts. I looked up. Fayaz, who is my electrical officer, who is a very close friend of mine, he was there with me then. And he said, Chief Saab, kuch to karo. I said, Fayaz, main kya karu? I was frozen. Those 30-40 seconds, I was frozen. I would not lie to you. It's not a sign of cowardice. But I had never seen it in my life. The whole poop deck burning, and you have a naphtha berth next to you. In 30 seconds, in my mind came, if this happens, where do I go? Do I land up in jail? My COC is gone. People are going to die. And then the hero runs the show. So, who really took action. It took me good 1 minute to come in my senses. 1 minute. And that 1 minute felt like hours to me. So it's not easy out there. It's absolutely. Touch wood, may God, nothing like that happens with you, with anyone. But can happen. Cell phone is not going to save you. Internet is not going to save you. Nor your parents, nor your superintendents, not anybody from ashore. It was going to be you, the master in command or the mate in command or the third mate on duty. As an officer of the watch, you will be held responsible. At the age of 20 to 23, you're earning your bread and butter. Somebody is going to come and tell you, son, it's your job and you need to do it. You would be sleeping in your cabin and somebody runs and aground your ship. Criminal case comes on to you for spillage. What do? They talk about rest hours. Okay, they're still violated. That's true. And they will be violated in time to come. More you reduce the manpower, they will be violated. And that's a fact which you will be living with it, how much ever we try, because they are not increasing the manpower. Am I right, sir? 32 to 24, 20 to 24 to 21, 21 to 16. The last company I sailed in, 16 people. They used to get one on board on a VLCC as equal to a ULCC. They used to call us, you're coming in with a king, 350,000 tonner. So just in US, because they were strongly requirement of manpower, so they used to fly in a mate and a seaman. Moment you cast off, they are gone. So what do? You think the life is easy? You think that $14,000 or $17,000 is easy? No, my sons and daughter, it's not. It's absolutely not. It may look a bed of roses to you from here. I understand. But it is absolutely not. It is not to demotivate you. But remember, it's extremely tough out there. It's not what you think. It's absolutely not what you think. So be prepared for it. So the amount of hard work you're going to put in there, if you put the same amount of hard work here, the results could go much bigger and much wider. And if you're crazy like me, to get a heart attack and on the 7th day go for a meeting, that's my wife here sitting, she knows this. So I went for a meeting on the 7th day of the heart attack. And there are crazy people like me who are working there. Said, Nikunj, it's okay, you are fine. No, I come and nothing will happen. Opportunity is all out there. So I wish you all the best once again. You know, decide yourself that where you or the opportunity on land, the sky is limitless. Especially for you young boys who are far more extensively educated than any one of us sitting in this room. And I proudly say that, you know, the young seafarers, you guys are the next way of taking the marine to a next level in coming time. So I wish you all the best once again. Priyanka madam, is she here? I had sent a video link. Can we play that video? So you know, this is very important. This is about my team, about how we run our organization across. Yeah, could you put the sound and start it? So what you see in this video, just before you put the video in, what you see in this video is all manufactured by us, all designed by us, from a scale model prototyping all the way realistic what it comes across. It's country first, it does all swarming which you see in US. Matter of fact, we are building now some missile boats where we are going to file missiles from our unmanned boats. We are doing some underwater platforms, so really extensive stuff what we are doing here across. So have a look. Video is not running. The system has hanged possibly, yeah. Now you play from here. Play that. Go to F5. Press F5 again and see. Yeah. Remove your HDMI. I think you have a lot many things open, is it? Press enable editing first. Yeah. Go to full screen. You have the video separately, yeah. If you have the video separately, you can play it separately also. Yeah. You have the video separately? Yeah, you can play it separately or you can play it this way. Beauty of entrepreneurship is there is an extreme amount of hard work, there is an extreme amount of perseverance. ऐसी एक इंजीनियरिंग कंपनी है, हम क्रेजी आइडियाज पे काम करते हैं. My name is Dr. Nikunj in the year 2015. I founded Sagar Defense Engineering with two of my co-founders, Lakshya Ram and Mr. Sagar. मैं सागर डिफेंस में ये देखता हूँ जो भी मेरे साथ है वो कहीं ना कहीं किसी ना किसी तरीके से मुझसे अच्छे हैं. एक व्यक्ति पूरी तरह संपूर्ण नहीं होता है, तो उसे अपने साथ ऐसे व्यक्ति चाहिए जो उसकी कमियों को पूरा करे. तो मैं अपनी कमियों को ढूंढता हूँ और उसी के हिसाब से लोगों को कहता हूँ कि आओ और किसी को तो सागर डिफेंस इंजीनियरिंग एक फैमिली है, पूरा परिवार है और वही अंदर हमारे काम करने का तरीका है. उनके सपनों को मेरे सपनों से जोड़कर एक एंड गोल बना. आई थिंक उसी की वजह से आज एसडी की संरचना हुई और मुझे बड़ा गर्व महसूस होता है ये बोलने के लिए कि को फाउंडर्स मिलने का लक्ष्य है बट फैक्ट्री तो मेरा सौरभ के साथ है. जब मैं एज एसडी देख रहा हूँ तो हम इसे एज इंडस्ट्री देख रहे हैं. इसके अराउंड सिर्फ एक एसडी ना खड़ी हो पर इसके अराउंड एक पूरा इकोसिस्टम खड़ा हो क्योंकि आज जो काम एसडी अकेले कर रहा है चाहे वो बोट हो या व्हीकल हो, एसडी के ये काम दूसरी छोटी एंसिलरी यूनिट्स भी कर सकती है और हम एक अलग तरीके का रोजगार प्रदान कर सकते हैं. तो मेरा गोल है कि एसडी सिर्फ एक ऑर्गेनाइजेशन ना रहे बट एक इंस्टीट्यूशन है. सबसे जो फेवरेट प्रोडक्ट है मेरा है वो गूगल वेपन. सेकेंड फेवरेट प्रोडक्ट जो है वो स्वागत है. थर्ड फेवरेट प्रोडक्ट है लक्ष्य और चौथा फेवरेट प्रोडक्ट है So the most important aspect here is, and this was a video made by a friend. He said, I want to do this shoot for you. He's a filmmaker. And he said, I'll do this shoot for you. And he did this for us. The most important part is when you set on to your journey, get your friends together. It's very important. Keep your conscience clear and be ready to work hard, persevere, resilient, because there is no shortcut to success. There is absolutely no shortcut to success. And Swami Vivekananda ने कहा है कि जब आपके, it's very important and abide by that is, when your life is going very smooth, remember, you are treading the wrong path.
which I'm sure you will have to take the path which he has chosen. This is the time to come up with any questions. Anyone has any questions? Of course, some of our faculty members and our distinguished guests who have come also want welcome to ask any questions to Nikunj. Please go ahead. Go to mic. Yeah. Go to mic. Very nice.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I did not do presentations.
No, no, no. This was it's far more.
1999. Good morning.
My question is, so you say as a master mariner, then you did your master. How did you overcome the fear when you first started a company? Like there is initial fears, no, I will not succeed, success, and people will come up with a company. So that and how did you overcome that fear, and how did you get investors to invest in your company? Because first thing for entrepreneur is like overcome that fear that okay, I want to do this, but I'm very scared that my money is going.
A very good question actually. So first thing is please take your seat. First thing is yes, fear would always be there. Fear is even today. I would not lie to you. My wife quit her job in June 19th. She thought I'm earning a lot. But now my scare has gone more up. She was earning more than me. So fear is even today. Now I will be very gladly I would say that I had one benefit, that I have parents who have been very supportive. So they have been my role model here, and they have said when I embarked on the journey, they said that don't worry, we are there. Secondly, with that comes across is I had always the desire, I have been doing funny things in my life right from start. So when I look at it, the desire to work, desire to carve my own path, always balanced out the fear which I was having in my mind, that what would be the end result, where would I be? A thought once you become a sailor is, as long as the sea is not dry, I'll have a job. What will happen? I'll go as a bosun or a seaman, worst come worst. Important is there is no shame in doing any other work. So अगर कल होके मुझे ठेला भी खींचना है, if so come it be, I'll do that. So that fear never allowed me to kick in, and every day I went on growing, I started becoming more and more capable. तो आज तो मैं पढ़ा के भी पैसे कमा सकता हूँ और कंसल्ट करके भी पैसे कमा सकता हूँ. So that fear started diminishing towards as I kept on growing in this phase. Important is build up your strengths. You know your weaknesses, so grow on your weaknesses and start building on your strength. The biggest mistake a lot of people do is they try to hide their weaknesses and in turns also do not work on them. So it's very important for you to understand your weaknesses, listen to your critics around you, take them very positively. वो कहते हैं कि दुश्मन को दूर रखो और क्रिटिक जो होता है उसको अपने पास रखो. सबसे ज़्यादा है कि जो क्रिटिसाइज आपको कर रहा है उसे अपने पास रखिए. So I think I have done that across. This is the learning which I have got from my family, from my parents, especially from my dad. So that helped me to balance that out, growing on my weaknesses and strength. Secondly, when it comes to investors, so as I said at start also, Fairfax Group, Quest Corp was the first one to come raise investment. किसी भी धंधा करने के लिए पैसा चाहिए, but एक आइडिया को सक्सीड होने के लिए पैसा ही सबसे ज़रूरी चीज़ नहीं है. ये बहुत important है. So in my times, it's a friends and families. So I have my brother-in-law who stood by me as Lord Krishna. I went to him, asked him for investments when I had lost everything, and he invested. We started with 1.5 crore and he went on to invest 6 crores. So it's important also is he trusting on you? Are you ready for it? The biggest mistake what people do when they have their startup is, and when they raise money or they take money, you have a flamboyant life, what you do in Bangalore, go have a lot of beers and parties and thought processes of having discussions and planning over beer, you know, or you buy a car or you buy a scooter or you live an exorbitant life, and this has led to a lot of failures across. So it's important that when it's your money, I'm still fine, but when it's somebody else's money, you be very critical about it. And as long as it is there, people judge you by your actions and behavior. People who will trust you are the ones who are seeing you right from, right from your childhood, or right from when you got married, or right from somebody has introduced you. So that trust is very important. And those positive vibes are equally important. So I think I have been positive. People, so right from IDBI Bank, to ONGC who have invested. Now we have another group of 2 investors who have come on board. They have been following us very strongly. And those are the people I have gone to for investment. So when I wanted to raise my last round of $6 million, I spoke to them on Friday, and that got approved on a Sunday evening from the investors. So as long as you're doing the right things, right way, that doesn't mean you're not burning cash. You could land up burning that money, it's fine. But your intention is not to burn your money. Intention is to do, the right stuff. I think that's not a problem in today's time. There's a lot of money out there to raise. It's not a problem. Important to how you pitch your idea, how you, sales pitch yourself, because that's required. And there are people like us. It's not only me, but there are a lot of people like me who are out there to always support you. Yeah. You're welcome.
Sir, get the mic in front.
Hi, sir.
Dear Nikunj,
Sir.
so what I'd like to ask is, what were your hobbies when you were young, and did your hobbies train you for this new technology job compared? I mean, you're professionally a seafarer, but what inspired you to get into technology?
Absolutely, sir. So I was an athlete, and coming from a armed forces background, right from the age of 7, we have been made to run of good 8 to 9 kilometers every day. So running was my hobby, and parallel along with it was playing cricket. So I played cricket all the way to university level, and then to Mumbai under 14 and under 19. And then in parallel I used to do theatres. I think a combination of theatres and athletics which really changed. Why? Because in athletics there is something which my dad and he used to do, and I still follow it. So when you run for 8-9 kilometers, and we used to stay at a place called RC Church in Kolaba. So there is a 150-meter incline of 45 degrees. So when we have run all the way from Afghan Church, TIFR, Nofra, Kohli Stadium, and we come to RC Church, so and that's still in our mind, still fresh. Then when you are paining, everything is burning in your body. He used to say, shoot. And dad used to run, we used to run. So this shoot has stuck to me even today. So if I am sick, if I am not well, the only thing that goes into my mind is shoot. I'm not going to back down. So yes, hobbies play a very important role, and so athletic allows me to persevere and really push myself up. When it comes to theatres, I was very kind enough, you'll be surprised कि आदमी कैसे इतना बोलता है. But I have done shows in Prithvi Theatre, I have done shows in All India Radio. There was a National Geographic reality show called Lehro Ke Sartaj. I was part of that. Out of 50,000 people, 5 people were selected. I was part of that. So all these things really helped me to how to talk, how to present myself across. It came from childhood. My brother is not like this. He's a very shy guy. But when it comes to me, you put me on a stage, I can go on for hours and keep talking. I think these hobbies have really made me, and then when I learn and I meet people, it helps me to break the ice. It helps me to really take it to the next level. So these were my hobbies which really helped me to create and get into the personality what I am today. So as you keep growing, you go to a management school and you are able to stand out. There is a fantastic anecdote. We were in IIMS Ahmedabad, where we were there. There were around 75 people from across the globe selected as top 75 ideas. And they asked to raise hand that how many of you know each other from before. So only 2 hands went up. One was me and the other was of Mr. Nirav Parekh. So Mr. Nirav Parekh, and this is a fantastic, you guys have to listen to this, is while Nirav was in school, he was the best student of the school. When Nirav left school, I was the best student of the school. And at IIMS Ahmedabad, there are two guys who know each other, were the two former best students of the school. So when we met, he asked the question, Nikunj, Vishal Jain ka bhi best student bana kya? Well, nahi, I will ask the second ही रहा. So you know, the fighting spirit or the competitive spirit was also there. So I would say I was also lucky in some way, though I came from a school in Virar. I had these idols like Nirav and Sachin there, who I even look up to. He runs a company called V Phrase. This is the second startup, doing extremely well. And he is from my school, he is my senior. When I used to look upon, he used to lead the theatre in the school, and whatever roles he used to do, it fell upon me to do that. And I've been lucky that his shadow is still there. After so many years we met, I saw Nirav there, and he's my mentor again. So these things have made sports helps you to bring team building in you. Athletics helps you to take the team across, especially in relay when you're looking at. And theatre helps you to teach you is where if somebody forgets a line, come on, pick it up for him so that the other do not understand that. I think that's what a business is also all about. All five fingers are not same. So I've been blessed to have a school like this, to have seniors like that, parents, and yeah, so that has helped in a way.
Anyone else? Anyone raising a hand? Yeah.
Sir, what are the morals and ethical values that you carry on while working in different jobs and doing something new?
Moral and ethic doesn't change with the job you do. It always remains same. It's our upbringing, right? We should not do anything which questions our upbringing. So it always remains same. But when you are out on a ship, yes, you have to be clear at where you are risking yourself too much, where you're risking your competency, you're going out of the way. That's equally important. But otherwise, I do not see your moral or ethical values ever changing in any kind of situations or any kind of scenario. If there's an accident on the road and you have to go to help them, go ahead and help them. It doesn't change. So that's there. When you're running a business, yes, there are certain calls which you will have to take, that you have core of your people which are working for you, then you have a second layer of people. So if you have a team of 300 or tomorrow 3,000 or 3 lakh, it will be very difficult for everyone to have the same level of judgment. So you will also look at a holistic approach, and that grows with you as you start growing in your vision. That you will have to have a holistic approach, because any decision you take, it's going to affect the whole organization, right? So if tomorrow if you have to chuck somebody out, and it's for the betterment of the organization, let it be your co-founder also, or let it be yourself, you will have to take it. So I think it remains all same. Our decision making improves. It's a learning for me also. We are just expanding. So I'm going to learn much more in coming time. But I believe a decision which is collectively, which has to be right for a holistic approach, if you have to take it, you have to take it. There is no looking back in that.
One last question from me. COVID really burning some mind, and you have mentioned about it. How far is autonomous ships from probably today, or maybe how far is it in the real terms, which you must be from the technology point of view very close to it, because we are reading about it, we are seeing different prototypes being made. But to become a commercial success and the way forward, probably if it happens in 20, 25 years, I'm sure there will be a lot of other avenues which open up. But how far do you see the autonomous regime coming into especially the maritime industry?
So, sir, already in inland waterways, and especially in Netherlands, you already have autonomous vessels which are working in. They are doing point A to point B, carrying gears of anything. What I believe is 10 years down the line, you could have transatlantic or transoceanic passages happening in, yes, 10 years from line. But when you're looking at harbor conditions, coastal conditions, we are looking at another 15 to 20 years from now. 15 years for coastal, and another 5 years further to it, 20 years, we're looking at harbor entries. So these have to be very well planned across in that scenario. Whereas this is in the commercial side, military is already way too advanced in this area already. There are certain classified projects which we ourselves are executing, which it's beyond this realm of this forum to put across. So technology is there already. necessary designated, chase it and destroy it. That's the level of technology which is there. Coming few months, you'll see the announcements happening from our end itself. So it's there. But when you look at an overall cargo carrying capacity, is the risk and the insurances, the policies have to mature it. Moment the policy matures, I think if the policy is ready to adapt to it, it can happen overnight. So it's more on the policy side and the regulation side which has to mature up, and that would really get in the spring. And the thought process which is there in everybody does our job go away. You know, there was a question asked to me is, then what happens to the Maritime? I think you would be the most luckiest mariners of all the world, you know, where you can go out back home every day. You run your ship, you come back home, and possibly you will be paid much more what we are getting now, because the talent what and the especially the phase when the transition happens. We were part of the phase in 1990 when the roadie officers were going out, the whole GPS were taking over, DRs had already gone out by then, this were not there. But the transition phase is the where you enjoy the maximum benefit. I think these boys and girls are going to reap the benefit of that. And yeah, so that's great. There is no fun being idle out there, so very long. It's always good on coastal passage.